If you think every single wealthy Black American had to start from zero by building their empire from a car trunk or a garage, you're wrong. There are Black American families who've been sitting on serious money for decades, long before social media, chart-topping albums, or billion-dollar new tech companies. These are families filled with heirs of empires that were already running when they arrived, the children of business founders, and the millionaires who are slowly passing their wealth to the next generation. In this video, we'll count down the 10 people whose biggest success was simply choosing the right parents. You won't believe it if I told you the family coming up at number 1 can buy a whole country. Number 10. The Gordy family. The Gordy family is the perfect example of what happens when talent meets timing and then explodes into a legacy. Their empire didn't start with fancy investors or billion-dollar tech ideas. It started with Berry Gordy, a man who borrowed $800 from his family and used it like rocket fuel. He turned a little Detroit house into a music workshop where future icons practiced until their songs felt unstoppable. That tiny studio eventually became Motown, the label that shaped American music. Once Motown produced hit songs after hit songs in the early 60s, the Gordy family began to cross over into real wealth. Around 1963, Motown acts dominated the entire Billboard charts. By the mid-60s, the label became a cultural force. People danced to it, cried to it, and fell in love with it. He produced songs for legends like Marvin Gaye, the Jackson 5, the Supremes, and Stevie Wonder. When the whole country can't stop playing your songs, the money doesn't trickle in, it floods. Berry Gordy understood something many people miss. It's not enough to make the music. You have to own the music. He kept the publishing rights, which meant every time a Motown song played on the radio or appeared in a movie, the checks came right back to him. That smart move turned the Gordy family from talented dreamers into a dynasty with long-term cash flowing in. Today, the family still shines. Berry is the proud elder statesman, but his kids and grandkids keep the name alive. Carrie Gordy handles entertainment deals and manages music rights. Rhonda Ross performs and builds her own lane. Evan Ross works in Hollywood. Stephen Redfoo Gordy brought the Gordy family name to a new generation with his party anthems. Each branch of the family adds another layer to the legacy. Their wealth now comes from decades of royalties, catalog deals, real estate, and investments. Their estimated net worth is $400 million, built slowly and steadily from the music that defined a generation. What's impressive is how well the Gordys have protected what they built. The money doesn't fade with time because the songs never fade. Every new movie, every commercial, every TV show that uses those classic tracks keeps the family fortune alive. Number 9. The Johnson family. The Johnson family is one of the most iconic examples of modern Black American wealth built in media and entertainment. It all started with Robert Bob L. Johnson, who founded BET in 1980. It started with a vision that nobody else had at the time. He noticed that Black culture wasn't adequately represented in American media. So he decided to create a television network entirely dedicated to Black culture. People thought it was a gamble, but Johnson saw opportunity where others saw risk. Alongside his then-wife, Sheila Johnson turned BET into a powerhouse, giving Black artists, filmmakers, and personalities a platform that was long overdue. As the channel grew, so did the family's fortune, and by 1991, BET had become profitable enough to make Johnson the first Black billionaire in America. Robert L. Johnson wasn't just lucky. He knew how to run a business. He expanded BET into music festivals, movies, and award shows, and eventually sold the network to Viacom in 2001 for nearly $1 billion. That sale catapulted the family into a level of wealth few others had achieved. And unlike some fortunes that fizzle after a founder steps back, the Johnson family turned that money into a continuing legacy. Robert reinvested and built the RLJ companies, a group of businesses in hotels, real estate, entertainment, and finance. Instead of living off the BET payout, he made sure he grew it. Today, the family still has major players active in business and entertainment. Paige Johnson, one of Robert's children, is often highlighted as a frontrunner managing parts of the family's media and investment interests. She and her brother Brett work behind the scenes, maintaining the empire while also branching into new ventures. Some are involved in real estate, others in production, keeping the Johnson name alive across industries. They didn't just inherit a fortune, they inherited an ecosystem of opportunities to expand it. The Johnson family's wealth is estimated at hundreds of millions, thanks to smart investments, the BET sale, and ongoing royalties from media and music. They've set up their assets so the next generation doesn't have to start from scratch. They have a built-in infrastructure that keeps the money flowing, the brand strong, and new ventures in motion. Number 8. The Smith family. The Smith family is famously known for dominating the world of finance and tech while also making headlines for jaw-dropping generosity. This all began with Robert F. Smith, the family's head. Robert started from humble beginnings but built a fortune that's impossible to ignore. In the year 2000, he founded Vista Equity Partners, a private equity firm that focuses on software companies. That's where the magic happened. He made sure he invested smartly, bought companies, grew them, and turned his firm into a money-making machine. By 2021, his wealth skyrocketed past $7 billion, making him one of the richest Black Americans alive. Robert didn't do it alone. His ex-wife, Suzanne McFadden, has been his partner in both life and philanthropy. Together, they expanded the family empire into real estate, investments, and big charitable moves, until they divorced in 2014. He later got married to Hope Dworachik in 2015. In 2019, Robert paid off the student loans for the entire Morehouse College graduating class. This one move showed the world that the Smiths don't just earn money for themselves. They also use that money to make a massive impact on people's lives. Today, Robert is still leading Vista Equity Partners and making big moves in business, while also ensuring the family name continues to shine. Hope helps steer the family's philanthropic and business initiatives, keeping their legacy alive and growing. His eldest children, Zoe, Eliana, and Maximos, are growing up in a family that knows how to combine money, influence, and opportunity. Zoe is exploring entrepreneurship and tech investments. Eliana and Maximos are pursuing creative and professional ventures, and the youngest is learning the ropes behind the scenes. The Smith family fortune is now a mix of investments, business stakes, real estate, and ongoing projects that keep growing. The family is focused on passing on wealth responsibly, teaching the next generation to invest wisely, lead boldly, and continue turning opportunity into legacy. Number 7. The Carter family. The Carter family is known worldwide for turning music, business, and culture into a dynasty that keeps growing. It began with a man called Sean Carter, popularly known as Jay-Z. Jay-Z broke into hip-hop in the 90s and built a lane that mixed creativity with sharp business instincts, and that's where the Carter legacy began. He rose from Brooklyn's Marcy Projects to become a global mogul who built companies, launched artists, and turned his name into a brand that moves through music, fashion, alcohol, tech, and sports. His early success with Rockefeller Records opened the door. Then he expanded into clothing with Rocawear, owned a piece of the Brooklyn Nets, built Roc Nation, and grew his investments until his net worth crossed into billionaire territory. By the time he hit that milestone, the Carter Foundation was already set. His empire grew even stronger through his marriage to Beyoncé. She brought her own powerhouse energy and turned the Carter name into a cultural machine. Together, they built a family brand that sits at the center of entertainment, philanthropy, and wealth creation. Their combined net worth is approximately $3 billion and keeps rising through music catalogs, business stakes, tours, art collections, and smart investments. Now Jay-Z is focused on expanding Roc Nation, building new partnerships, and growing long-term ventures. Beyoncé continues her run in music, film, fashion, and business. Their children are growing up in this world of opportunity. Blue Ivy, at just 13, already shows signs of following in the family's footsteps. She's performed on massive stages, won awards, and learned the business from the inside. She's becoming a young star with a head start most people only dream of. The twins, Rumi and Sir, are still young, yet they're already connected to a future built on ownership and creativity. The Carters aren't only passing down money. They're passing down access, business structure, and a name that opens any door. Number 6. The Will Smith family. The Smith family is one of those names everyone knows. They didn't get famous for running banks or owning oil fields. Their empire came from pure entertainment: movies, music, global fame, and a last name that carries weight anywhere in Hollywood. This whole empire began with Will Smith, the kid from Philly who started as a young rapper with quick charm and clever lyrics. That early success opened the door to television in the early 90s, when he starred in the hit show The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. By the time he became a blockbuster actor in the late 90s and 2000s, the Smith fortune had taken off. At his peak, he was pulling in massive paychecks from films and production deals. Each film he starred in became a box office hit, and before long he became one of the highest-paid actors in the world. By the time his kids were born, they didn't come into the world empty-handed. They arrived right in the middle of a booming Hollywood kingdom. Will built his empire with big roles and smart business moves. He didn't do it alone either. His former partner, Jada, was also in the industry, and together they raised kids right in the spotlight. Even though they're divorced now, the family name still carries weight. Will is still active today. He released a new album in 2025 and even brought his second son, Jaden, onto the project. That father-son link keeps the brand alive. Meanwhile, the kids have grown into their own identities. Willow dropped a new album recently and keeps experimenting with her sound. She's performing, recording, and staying in the creative world without forcing herself into the pop spotlight. Jaden's doing something similar. He's always been the bold, artistic one, and he still makes music while dipping into fashion and creative projects. He may not act much anymore, but he makes sure people know he's here, especially with the wild outfits he pulls off on red carpets. They're not kids chasing roles or viral hits now. They're young adults building their own lanes, and that means the family wealth won't end with Will. It's moving into a fresh generation that's creative and unpredictable. Number 5. The McKissack family. The McKissack family isn't known for music or movies. They're known for building things. Big things. We're talking about airports, museums, schools, and huge city projects. If it's a place people walk into every day, a McKissack company probably helped make it happen. They're one of the oldest black construction families in the country, and their name still hits hard today. Their money story goes way back, but the part teens care about starts when the family business really took off in the late 1900s. That's when the McKissacks began landing big contracts and growing into a serious power family. The foundation was laid by their ancestor Moses McKissack, but the real glow-up came with the newer generation. The stars of the family right now are the twin sisters Cheryl and Daryl McKissack. These two sisters, who grew into the business by watching their dad run the company, learned everything and later stepped in and made it even bigger. Today, each sister runs her own branch of the family empire. Cheryl runs McKissack & McKissack in New York, and Daryl runs her company out of Washington, D.C. So the family name stays winning in two major cities at once. These women took the company to a different level. Under them, the McKissacks have worked on huge projects like the National Museum of African American History and Culture, big transit projects, luxury buildings, and major city renovations. That means big budgets, big checks, and a lot of influence. Right now, the family is worth hundreds of millions through contracts, properties, and projects they control. But money isn't the only thing that keeps them strong. They're already bringing younger family members into the business, so the next generation knows how to keep the empire running. The McKissacks are building massive apartment buildings, as well as building a future where their kids and grandkids can walk in and take over something massive. And that is what real money looks like. Number 4. The Avant family. The Avant family is famous for being major movers in music, politics, and business. And the person putting the family name on the map today is Nicole Avant. Her dad, Clarence the Black Godfather Avant, alongside her mom, Jacqueline Avant, built the family fortune from the ground up. Clarence started out in the music industry, managing artists, producing records, and making deals that no one else could. By the 1970s and 80s, he was known as the guy who made careers happen, and the money followed. Nicole grew up in all of that. She saw the deals, the artists, the shows, and the parties. She learned early how business, music, and connections could turn into serious cash. By the time she was an adult, she was running her own projects, producing films and TV shows, building companies, and even stepping into politics and philanthropy. These days, Nicole is carrying the family torch. She works with startups, produces shows, and manages creative deals, all while keeping the Avant name in the spotlight. Her dad's empire helped give her a jumpstart, but she's definitely running her own lane. Her work keeps the family money growing and the legacy alive. Nicole also has children who are being raised in this high-energy world of music, entertainment, and business. They're growing up seeing what it takes to run companies, make deals, and keep wealth in the family. That means the next generation of Avants is already set up to take over, learn the ropes, and keep expanding the family influence. The Avant family fortune comes from decades of smart deals, music royalties, entertainment management, and strategic investments. Nicole is making sure it's more than just a pile of money. It's a living, growing family empire that keeps giving opportunities to the next generation. Number 3. The Baldwin Richardson family. The Baldwin Richardson family is not in movies, music, or sports. They're in sauces, syrups, toppings, and dessert fillings that you've probably eaten without even realizing it. They're famous for building one of the biggest African-American-owned food companies in the U.S. It all started in the 1990s when Eric G. Johnson bought a small company called Baldwin Ice Cream. By 1997, he merged it with another business to create Baldwin Richardson Foods, or BRF. That move turned a small ice cream supplier into a full-blown empire supplying fast food chains, restaurants, and grocery stores across the country. The business grew fast, and soon they weren't only making desserts, they also ventured into making syrups, sauces, and all kinds of products that became staples in kitchens everywhere. Today, the family legacy is in the hands of his daughter, Erin Johnson Tollefree. She's been the company's president and CEO since 2023. She's also been with the company for years, learning the business from the ground up. Her younger sister, Kara Johnson Hughes, manages customer and community programs, making sure the company stays connected to the people and communities it serves. Together, they run a multi-state, family-owned empire that's bigger than most people realize. The company employs hundreds and continues to expand. They keep innovating, making products that hit shelves, fast food menus, and breakfast tables across America. But the Tollefree family isn't just about money, they're about giving back. They've set up scholarships, sponsored programs for youth, and invested in communities to make sure their success helps others as well. What's impressive is that this started as a small ice cream company decades ago, and now it's a full family empire. Erin and Kara are already preparing the next generation to take over, so the Tollefree legacy keeps moving forward. Every sauce, syrup, or topping from BRF is a piece of a family dynasty that's still growing strong. Number 2. The Jordan family. The Jordan family is famous worldwide, and not just because Michael Jordan won 6 NBA championships. They're known for turning sports, business, and smart investments into a family empire. Michael started as a kid in North Carolina who loved basketball and wasn't afraid to put in the work. That dedication turned him into arguably the greatest player of all time, but it also turned the Jordan name into a brand that makes serious money. Michael's wealth started on the court, but he quickly learned how to make it off the court too. Smart deals with Nike turned into the Air Jordan brand, which is still one of the most valuable sneaker lines in the world. From there, he invested in businesses like the Charlotte Hornets, restaurants, and other ventures. By the 2000s, the Jordan family became a dynasty. Today, Michael is still the head of the family empire, making big moves in sports, business, and entertainment. His wife, Yvette Prieto, plays a big role in the family too, helping manage their lifestyle and projects. Together, they've built a home base that's not just luxurious, but also sets up the next generation to take over when the time comes. The Jordan kids are already showing signs of carrying the legacy forward. Jeffrey and Marcus Jordan have explored sports and business ventures, with Marcus even running his own business projects. His daughter Jasmine are stepping into the family spotlight in her own ways, learning about branding, media, and the family business. The kids have access to resources, mentorship, and networks most people only dream of, which means they're already ahead when it comes to building their own paths. The family fortune is massive, with Michael alone worth over $2 billion, but it's not just about the money. The Jordan family has turned talent, hard work, and smart investing into a dynasty. They're passing down wealth, knowledge, and opportunities, making sure the Jordan name stays powerful for generations. Number 1. The Steward family. The Steward family is famous for building a company that moves serious tech and IT infrastructure for corporations and governments. And it all started with David L. Steward, a kid who grew up on a small farm in Missouri without indoor plumbing, but with a mind full of ambition. David learned early that nothing comes easy. He saw his parents work every day just to keep the family afloat, and it stuck with him. After college and a few early jobs, he co-founded the company known as Worldwide Technology in 1990, starting small with freight and IT solutions. From there, the company exploded. Today, WT has over 12,000 employees worldwide serving government, defense, and corporate clients, making it the largest Black-owned business in the U.S. The family's wealth grew fast, but David didn't just chase money. He built an empire that could last for generations, and currently, they have an estimated net worth of $12.4 billion. His son, David Steward II, runs Polarity, LLC, the only Black-owned animation studio of its kind in the U.S., turning storytelling and digital media into a whole new lane. His daughter, Kimberly Steward, runs her own company, K-Media, producing films and content that have already made waves in Hollywood. The kids aren't only inheriting wealth, they're also inheriting the mindset, the opportunity, and the freedom to build their own legacies while keeping the family name powerful. David himself is still at the helm of WWT, making major business moves, shaping global tech solutions, and balancing his empire with philanthropy and community leadership. Scholarships, youth programs, and supporting underrepresented communities are all part of the family DNA. Thanks for hanging out with us on this journey through families who turned hard work, smart moves, and a bit of luck into generational power. If you love stories about people building real legacies, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories of vision, drive, and lasting impact.